Right, well, hi everybody. It's Mark Barton from Nutrien Equine. We're lucky enough to have Mat Holz, just about to be COVID-free down in Victoria. We're late into November, Matt. Thanks for coming on this afternoon or this evening, mate. You've obviously had another nice day down in the lower part of Victoria.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks for inviting me on. Yeah, we are COVID-free. Was yesterday, I think, was the first day of actual no active cases in Victoria, so that's pretty good from where we were several months ago. And yeah, look, things are opening up, and we're getting to get out and do things again, and it's all looking positive to get these competitions rolling and head north to you guys.
And tell me, mate, your business obviously it's around the performance horse industry. Is a huge part of your business. How has business been over this last 8 or 9 months? You've obviously had some difficulties. You're not out there campaigning horses, but what does the business look like for a professional outfit like yours in the equine business?
Mine's been pretty good. I've got quite a few of my own horses, which it's actually been quite a good thing for me, a bit of a shutdown. So I've been able to get to some of mine. So I've been able to just limit what I've taken, because there's been nothing on. I've limited what I've taken of outsiders, and with the view of this obviously landmark or Nutrien coming up, and then we have the nationals after that. So you know, we still have some big events to look forward to. So I've just looked at, well, I need to get into some of my horses, but still keep some of my client horses ticking along, and you know, sale horses, all that preparation with those, and you know, the other competition horses as well.
One of the main purposes tonight, we wanted to let people know out there that we had a lot of conversations with people over this last few weeks. The Nutrien catalogue's now gone live online. People keep asking, where are we at, what's happening? For those people out there, the classic, yeah, we said when we pushed go, we mean go, and that's where we're at. Obviously, we've got a position where we've presented a plan to New South Wales Health. We're looking at all those modifications that come with that. So our business is all going now, and probably for people out there that want to know, there's nearly 600 horses in the catalogue. We know you're wanting to know when to get them ready. We wanted to know how you go about getting those horses best prepared. So that means go now, guys. We're going to move heaven and earth from here on to make sure that this event does run. We're going to be professional and be safe about it. And Tamworth City Council have been fantastic, and as have some of the representatives from New South Wales Parliament to make sure that the city of Tamworth gets Matt, you've been at, I think, all of the events, mate. It's a huge impact on a city like Tamworth, the impact that the Classic brings to town.
Yeah, it's massive, Mark. But, you know, they do a great job to facilitate so many people, so many horses. Events like that, I'm sure, are very valuable to a town like Tamworth, and that's why. And the facility is obviously great to run such an event. So, you know, it fits in well, and I'm sure the community and the town, the Shire, they all appreciate, you know, these events supporting them.
And look, I'm actually reading from my computer now for people. We actually, Tamworth City Council did send us today. Just we're due to open with camping next week, and we're just awaiting confirmation from the public health order and the requirements that happen for the new year. So camping has been delayed for 2021 Classic, but we don't want people to be concerned about that. It's about making sure we're compliant. Mike Rowlands and his team have presented their plan how we'll manage the accommodation of people on site, and we're just waiting final approval or what that looks like, what the parameters are around that. So for those people that were looking to try and get in the queue to make sure they don't miss a parking spot or get their paddock spot booked, look, it's probably going to be the first week in January now, so that we know what additional requirements we need to do to comply with what they need us to be safe and run a really good event. I suppose, Matt, firstly, before we get on to some other stuff around the Classic, mate, you're another president. We've seen an outgoing president in the USA. You're the current president, I think, for 24 hours more at the GCA. Mate, I see you got the cap. Anyone you want to give a plug that is one of those great sponsors in the Gippsland camp draft community?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Mark. You know, we have our AGM tomorrow night, but so who knows what happens from there, as Donald found out. But yeah, you're right. We went through a process of you know, doing something to promote our sponsors, and yeah, we made these caps, and we have our great sponsors on here, and I'm going to give them all a plug. Thanks, Mark.
Mate, I see that if you go back to the back of the cap just for a moment, I see, and probably we'll jump forward in what we said we talk about, Pride's Easy Feed, mate. I know they've been a fantastic supporter of you personally. You've agreed, one of the reasons you're on here tonight, you've agreed to come on board and hang your saddle up for the challenge this year at the Nutrien Challenge, sponsored now for a number of years by Prides. Have been fantastic supporters of Performance Horse, and we'd like to formally thank you and welcome you on to the team as a judge. But tell us your experience with Prides, mate. They've been fantastic for Nutrien. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, well, firstly, thank you for asking me to judge. It certainly is an honour. Prides have been unbelievable. They really do treat you like part of their family. Nothing's a problem. Their support through nutrition, and you know, the way they go about, I guess, helping us and give us the things that we need to help promote them, and you know, they go through different things, the different videos. You know, we do our bit to try and support them where we can. It's about a two-way street. Sponsorship is always about a two-way street, and it's something I'm very conscious of, to try and make sure that people that support me, I support them.
Mate, getting on to obviously Prides, and I'm going to continue to give them a little plug for a while, but you know, you're a sponsored rider with those guys. They've enjoyed success. Like you've been fortunate enough to have the opportunity, I guess, to ride some pretty nice horses at Tamworth that we've seen. Obviously, you've got that great combination with those guys. We've seen you win the Open. We've seen you win the Classic. I reckon, I'm just going to test myself, I reckon you're second maybe in the challenge that you're going to judge for us at the next event. Mate, when you've got on some of those horses, was there something special about those ones that you thought, I reckon I remember the chance that if this horse gets the right opportunity, I really feel I'm on a good one? Or you've been riding a lot of horses for a long time. Like, is there one that pops out, like the likes of Tambourine? Do those horses go themselves before they get to the event?
Yeah, they do, and you know, whether the pieces fall into place at the event or not, you know, for me, once I hop on a horse and get a ride on them, you can get a huge gauge on what you think their ability is, and I'm much more ride the horse and get a feel of them than I am to look at them and try and work out whether they're a good horse. So, yeah, Bullet Tambourine was certainly special. She was special. She was one that I did think was absolutely special when Peter O'Neill rode her for Peter Aposto and myself to just show us prior to the sale. And I did turn to Peter and say, oh man, that mare is special. And so Pete went about buying her, which is very fortunate for me, and I think fortunate for Peter Aposto. He has a brilliant mare in his hands. But she's not the only one that he's purchased through the style that I think is a brilliant horse. You know, Dharma Acres of Impact, I consider another brilliant horse. He's been very successful as well, not only winning Open there and second in the challenge, like you mentioned, but you know, through the Stock Horse Nationals as well. He's won an Open challenge. He won a Maturity and an Open challenge. He's won, I don't know how many Open drafts. So, you know, he's gone on. Tambourine's gone on to win Opens. She went right through her grades, won Opens. But, you know, it doesn't end there. The list doesn't end there with horses to come out of the Classic or the Classic sale. Horses like Luck Enough Horizon, who actually, Horizon was the mare that won the draft the year prior to me really getting involved with that sale. So I remember being a wet year with Michael Hiscock on board. You know, she's gone on to win, I don't know how many Open drafts. She's been successful. Horses like Heatwave, Hell's a Comin', Metallic Storm, you know, sold big money last year, I think, was it? And he's gone out and won a draft now.
Yeah, one last weekend.
Yeah, one last weekend. So, they come through that if the foundation is there and they're a good horse, they'll go on for years.
Tell me, mate, you've agreed to help us out with the challenge and you've been a consistent competitor in that. How important or the benefits of a horse going through that challenge process for a long career in performance of any description, how important do you see the building blocks that come from a challenge program?
Yeah, it is. It's my training all revolves around foundation, and foundation leads into building pressure, and then you take that as far as you can, for years to come. So having to put your horse through or getting that foundation on your horse to compete in something like the challenge where you've got a dry work element and a cow section. So you've got to put time in to get that foundation and get that work done. You can't go there with a horse that is not fully prepared for that type of event, because it's difficult to win, and it's hard for a horse that's a little green. So you've got to put that time in, and therefore it takes you on further than that. Competitions down the track, whether it be challenges Queensland or whether it be some sort of stock horse event like an open challenge, or you've got that foundation there to really put them through anything.
So start the clock now for those people. Not just a challenge. I think you've got camp draft horses for the classic, and obviously the Open again in 2021 yourself. We've had a limited opportunity. I know plenty of people, 4, 5, 6 months, 8 months, where they haven't had a chance to go to a competition. We get this information that the Nutrien Classic's on. It's a high profile event. Well, we believe it is. It's an event that a lot of people like to get to. What do you do now? What does a person do now? What's your program with a horse that maybe even your older horses that have had that 6-month, 8-month layoff? What do we do to try and set those? So do you start the clock now to make sure that those horses are set on game day?
Yeah, absolutely. Them old horses, they need to be, back into work pretty much now, very soon. They need to be fit, even though you can take an open horse there and you may not do any good first round, but if you do, you want your horse fit so that you can continue on second round and final. And as we all know, as we get older, we need to, ourselves as well, we need to be fit and in tune, and, our bodies need to cope with strenuous work. So the open horses, I feel, certainly need to be in work, or very soon now. And the classic horses, I do have a couple of classic horses this year, and, I've ticked them along. They've had work. I've only got them since last year. Well, they've had little breaks along the way, but I've ticked them along, and they're certainly back in full work now. And competitions are they haven't started down here, but we're in the process of looking at what's required.
Oh no, I was going to say, like with Victoria, obviously with your president's hat on, I know you guys have been an important part of the that lead up to the classic for a lot of the horses that come north from Victoria. That you've got some pretty big drafts, like your New Year draft now. What's it in its second or third year now? We're certainly in a new format, but like it's already becoming a very high profile event.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, unfortunately they're not running this year, but this would have been their third year, and it certainly is. And even I guess if you go back prior to that, the drafts. Because we don't have many prior to Christmas. So those drafts in January that normally run Yarram, Sale and Trafalgar, they're a very important lead up for us to get those classic horses in particular. They might be having their first start at Yarram. They might get to 3 events prior to, depending on what they're up to, previous years. So yeah, they're very important events, and we're in the midst of looking at what's required to run, and it looks like it's I think we're able to run. It's just a few little criteria things that we've got to nut out, and but I don't think they're going to be difficult. So I really hope that a couple of those drafts at least we'll be able to run, and we'll be able to give our horses a hit out.
And tell me, mate, talking to that, like I say, the Gippsland, you've run a big feature draft. We saw, that those guys have done the last couple of years. We've seen Willinga Park, obviously a layoff this last May, but the previous couple has got bigger. Cobar only a few weeks ago was a big draft. We saw Coolar went to $100,000 weekend. We've already got the Paradise Lagoons. The big three has always been Condamine, Chinchilla, Warwick. You've got some magnificent drafts, the Burke and Wills and some of those Northwest Queensland drafts, the Pearl of the North, etc. The Classic. Where do these drafts rate? Like, how important is the likes of the Tamworth Classic event to some of these the semi-professional, the trainers like yourself that have got client horses, and you're out there on that stage? How does it fit in the mix of some of those bigger events these days?
It's right up there, Mark. It's certainly that Nutrien event that you run it's right up there with the best of my feel. The quality of event that you run and the numbers, the type of event, the young horse, the old horses. Old horses are being masters as well as open horses. The challenge, like you've got a broad spectrum of events going on, and something that every year there's several events that people look forward to, no matter where they are within Australia. So, and the Nutrien Classic is certainly one for me that it's a must do event, and it's certainly up there. It's also good to be able to, like you said about the Dumbok New Year's draft. Well, they've done a great job starting it out, and it just adds an element of big draft event, which we in Gippsland, where people are actually coming from out of Gippsland, and we had quite a few people from Gippsland last year travel too, and it's great to see people spend that time and money to get places and have a look around and go to them big events. They're well worth supporting, and clients for me are a big part of my business. So trying to fit in what big events we can and promote their horses. They're trying to get performance and or sell a horse that's bred by them. So it's my job to try and promote their horses the best I can.
And I guess with some of these feature events like these I guess semi-professional events, which I think's been great for breeders of horses. There's more incentive for people to purchase horses and more value in people breeding them. How important is the grassroots, those bread and butter weekends, that one where the money goes to the local charity to help community? How important do you think that foundation is for our sport of camp drafting?
Yeah, it certainly is. We have quite a few drafts that are run by clubs such as football and netball clubs, and they certainly, all Gippsland drafts are supported, certainly all Gippslanders, and then we get a lot of outsiders. So the money goes back to not only those, but fire brigades, bush fire brigades, and money's donated back to communities where or associations that need it. That is certainly great, and it's good to have those weekends where they're not high profile. They're just a good racing weekend.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know we've got a big program coming up for you guys in February. We've got 600 horses. We've probably had 40 or 50 horses more pull out in this last 4 weeks prior to going to catalogue, which people have said, look, we just haven't got on quite where we wanted to go to Tamworth this year. And that's the first time we've actually had that sort of reduction in numbers, which I think is a positive that people actually know where they want to pitch their horse or where they feel the standard needs to be to present at the event. So, Matt, we're not far away from the Classic coming up again. We had the Classic roundup for its first time last year, and a good mate and a real pest mate of yours is Brett Welsh, and Welsh's agreed to be given another microphone, and you must be looking forward as a judge to having Brett Welsh as an interviewer with a microphone in his hand.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm not sure, Mark, but I think it'll be interesting. Brett certainly did a great job last year. A little bit of light-hearted humour, and keeping people informed with what was happening for the day, and I think great to for you guys to have that side of it where, you know, we take that lightheartedness to people, community out there that can't be at the Classic, or even if you are there and you watch it later on. I think it's great to get that sort of involvement, and Brett certainly handles that job well.
He's certainly unique, I'll say that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 600 horses. By the time we put all the horses on the ground, someone asked a question there again the other day. Look, we'll have between 12 and 1,400 horses on the grounds over the week. We'll look to secure around 3,000 cattle. We're really pleased to know that northern New South Wales area is in the best season we've seen for a long time. And it's been fantastic, the offers of lines of cattle. And I'm really excited about the cattle I think we can bring to the Classic for all our competitions again this year for 2021. The catalogue is online. We're going to print in the next couple of days. Probably the last thing I want to just remind people, our catalogue is interactive. You can go in there if you like a lot. Like that, click like on that. Anytime a vendor puts any more information up on a horse, that'll send you an SMS, so you know that they've got more information. And you know, people like Matt that are preparing horses, I know you guys go to the trouble to put videos and things up there. Vendors, you can do that yourselves. For those people that aren't comfortable or they want to do that next tweak, I'll give a plug to behind the scenes, the Wild Colt Productions. Selena, Andrew and Emma, they do a fantastic job. They bring all of these the online stuff to life for us. They bring the Classic to life once we go off site. They are also very professional, helping people if they want to get some work done or try and professionalise the way they want to present their horses pre-sale. And Matt, 600 horses, you've got to make those horses stand out. You'd agree it's an important part of the process.
Oh, isn't it? Yeah, it's certainly, and from our point of view, when we have a horse in there, like it's good to know. We get a notification to say that someone's following your horse. We get an understanding that, you know, people are seeing our product, so that's good on our behalf as well. Not only being able to people to be able to get updates when things are online. So yeah, look, it is one of those things. You do your best to try and I guess get your horse to stand out, or at least get people to notice them. And there's a lot of horses there, so yeah, it's you got to do your best and present them well and have them going so that people do see them.
Well, guys, that's probably the most important thing. We have had a delayed early January with our camping. The Classic's on time. Our applications are in. Everything looks go. The world that we've been through in the last 12 months, we're starting to see some light at the tunnel for Australians at least. I don't think there's another place in the world you'd want to be other than Australia right now. For those people out there, there's something special about the Classic for us to present it to you. We've had some pretty hard times, whether it's been drought or rain or tough times or EI. We've been able to get this show on the road, and it's an important social function and a get-together for all of us. Whilst it's about trying to sell horses and see winners, we truly are looking forward to presenting and hosting that event for you. And again, take the chance to sincerely thank you, Matt, because you put yourself out there as a judge. You don't get a lot of thanks. You're a great competitor. You've been a great supporter of the event, and we look forward to working alongside you and the other judges at the Classic in 2021.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah, well, I'm certainly looking forward to it, as I do every year, and I look forward to the judging element this year as well. So that'll be another little element that, yeah, it'll be good to be a part of and good to donate time back to. So thanks for having me along tonight, and I look forward to coming up.
All right, see you next time.